My name is Omari the Rebel.
And I'm the motherfucking Big Pink Pegasus, you heard?
And this is Tribechat, the long-form podcast about alternative sexuality of Nzuri Kabila, or NK swingers, from a black perspective. We make you think.
We make you laugh.
And we make you come.
Hard as hell.
Recording in What the Fuck Media Studios in Soho, New York City.
Big boy.
All right, so let me introduce our guests. Maj, a.k.a. Mistress Maj, Funsexual, 27-year-old, single from Baltimore.
From Jersey.
You live in
Baltimore.
Where the fuck you
Baltimore.
Didn't you used to stay in Baltimore?
Whoop his ass, mistress.
I'm from Jersey. I'm from North. I'm from Brick City.
My fault, I
better
got my next book
motherfucking
up.
say it. You
What
better
part of Jersey?
motherfucking
What part of Jersey?
Newark.
All right, listen. Now,
I just want you to whoop his ass. That's what needs to get happen.
so Maj, a.k.a. Mistress Majesty, all right, 5 years ago discovered her journey on FetLife, and then that sent her down a rabbit hole of exploration. Her introduction to kink came from the swinger community, and her journey has been full throttle ever since. Shout out to the swinger community.
Shout out to you.
She's a pro-dom, lifestyle, switch, brat, exhibitionist, voyeur, sadist with a love for exploration. In December 2002, Maj launched the Funsexual podcast, like that podcast, by the way, to discuss all things body, sex, and kink positivity. The Funsexual podcast is about creating judgment-free space where we are able to learn, teach, and explore sexuality. How you doing today?
I am great. And I wish I founded my podcast in 2002, but it was 2020.
This motherfucker is all off, though.
I said 2020, didn't I?
You said 2002.
I did.
It's all good. It's all good. It's Sunday.
It is.
It's raining.
It is Sunday. We were supposed to be sleeping, and we had a long night last night.
Yeah,
I mean,
we did.
yeah, it was.
I'm about to get into that. All right. Now, first we start off with our news. Now, Nzuri Kabila is the literal Swahili translation for the term beautiful tribe. Keeping with the cultural continuity of our brand, we begin with the Swahili term for what's the news, Habari Gani. So, Adam and Eve actually host the adults-only sex ed on Clubhouse. Clubhouse is such bullshit, man. It is.
It phased in and out really quickly.
All right, so Adam and Eve host the adult sex ed on Clubhouse. Sex toy branding Adam and Eve will be hosting a weekly adult sex ed chats on Clubhouse. It's an invitation-only social media app for iOS, now available on Android, where users can communicate in voice rooms chats to accommodate groups of up to 5,000 people. So when I read that in the article, I was like, so let me get this straight. Somebody has invented technology that allows me to use my phone to talk to other people on it. These weekly chats will take place Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Listeners will be able to join sex therapist Brittany Steffen and sex educator Amanda Ladd to discuss all things sex-related. Adult Sex Ed is a judgment-free Q&A session that's fun and informative way to discuss sexual topics and issues from the privacy of your own home. Marketing director Chad Davis says many people are still shy when it comes to their sexual questions or thoughts. Our Adult Sex Ed chat is the perfect forum for attendees to listen and ask sex experts. I said that. I just did that. Questions
Didn't you know what
on their own.
I knew what you was talking about.
Scheduled to run through Thursday all the way to June 10th. Adult Sex Ed attendees could also receive a 50% discount on any single item at adamandeve.com with the promo code CLUB at checkout. Now, to switch it up, unfortunately, MC Kevin falls to death trying to escape wife after having a threesome, according to Gossip and Gladness. Yes. All right,
trying to escape.
MC Kevin is a 23-year-old Brazilian music star and died from a fall from a hotel balcony after attempting to avoid his wife after engaging in a threesome.
With her?
No. According to the testimony obtained by a Brazilian newspaper, Extra Galopo, and picked up by the Daily Mail, the singer, whose real name is Kevin Nascimento Bueno, fell from the fifth floor balcony of the Rio de Janeiro hotel Sunday, and authorities said Kevin was found near a swimming pool at the hotel. Damn. The incident took place just weeks after he married his 33-year-old wife, Dielaine Bozera. Damn.
He's trash. He's trash.
I feel bad. I feel bad.
But he ran from her ass. Like, what was she coming with?
Now, Global is reporting that authorities have taken the cell phones of model Bianca Dominguez and friend Victor Elias Fontanelli, who were allegedly in the hotel room when he fell. Kevin and Victor met Bianca on the boardwalk before eventually taking her to the suite. Global reports as the three reportedly...
Threesome.
All right.
I didn't realize. That's why I'm saying. Oh, okay. I see why you're fighting now.
Global reports that the three reportedly maintained sexual relations before Kevin jumped off the balcony to get to another balcony around 7 p.m. in fear of his wife arriving in the room. All right. Now, also, I want to give a shout out as a journalist. I want to give a shout out to three news companies. I want to give a shout out to ABC News 4 in Utah. Shout out to KVUE Fox News in Austin, Texas as well. And hold on, CNN actually, they took the story down. All right, so John Oliver, local TV stations were finessed by John Oliver on Last Week Tonight Show. I'm a fan of this show when he promises reviews of when he talks about sponsored content. On the most recent episode of HBO's Last Week Tonight Show by John Oliver highlighted the dangers of sponsored content. Trusted local media often blur the line of false advertising by accepting payments for paid ads without thoroughly explaining the context, and that this segment is a paid advertisement and not a fact-checked segment based on legitimate journalism. All right. Now, what does this have to do with sex and such?
TV's not true.
Now, we're so excited to introduce the Venus Veil, the world's first sexual wellness blanket, which doesn't actually exist. That's on the top of John Oliver's Twitter page, right? And you can also read to learn more. He has a fake website. What happened is John Oliver created the Venus Veil. He created a company called Venus Inventions. And to prove how stupid or corrupt that local news organizations can be when it comes to sponsored content, he sent an actress there so that they can talk about the product. All right. And listen, this is how she describes this. All right, so you can learn more at venusinventions.com. And MSNBC, they took it down because they thought it was a joke. ABC for Utah, Saray Chin, who serves as the station's chief medical correspondent and also anchors several of its sponsored content bits, which is a conflict of interest. Shin was one of the anchors in a sponsored content segment for the Venus Veil, and Oliver noted that she didn't ask as many questions about the blanket's supposed sexual benefits as he'd expected a chief medical correspondent to do. Nah, look, it says the Venus Veil's proprietary magnetic fibers work towards aesthetic and functional improvements to improve your sexual performance.
That's a whole bunch of fucking words that ain't say nothing. Exactly. Don't you just want to take a nap now?
Inspired by the biological technique of Magna Genetics and technology pioneered in Germany.
I don't want that in my pussy.
80 years ago. So this is some Nazi era shit.
Right. I don't want Nazis in my pussy. I'm sorry.
The Venus Veil.
None of they shit.
The Venus Veil works confidently to fix erectile issues and to improve vaginal lubrication. Yes.
Y'all remember those a couple years ago? They had those like copper sleeves that you put on, like it was like socks.
They still got them.
Those things, that's what that made me think of. Because I was like, how is this working? I'm not sure how a blanket
on your dick. Like, what do you mean a blanket? Like,
yeah,
you just drape it over you and it makes it dick hard.
You know, I've never had sex that was made better by a blanket.
And we need to get up on this.
With fairy dust and gas station pills.
HBO says that.
Fuck you.
HBO says
gas station pills.
She said that they only had to pay $7,200 to appear on all three shows. We could have been Yo, we could come up with some bullshit product, man, for real.
What?
I got one right now. Strapless seatbelts.
All right. I wanted you to join us because we now before we get, I wanted to get into getting to know you a little bit. Now, and getting to know you a little bit.
Now why eating these grapes like this?
Why am I eating grapes? Why am I eating grapes?
I would like to know. And I have no idea.
You have no idea? The last time that Mistress Maj was in this studio, she was in the studio on Horrible Decisions. And one of the first things she talks about is sucking grapes out of her pussy.
Well, are they organic is the question.
That's right.
You see, you don't want the
they
pesticides.
not.
You don't want all the stuff that
Them
they spray.
GMO grapes. You taste the G in them grapes.
All right, so let's put the grapes down for a second, right? Before we get to know you a little bit, I actually was in Queens. Do you fuck with edibles?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Very much so.
Yeah, I'm not even a big fan of edibles. Somebody actually ended up talking me into getting some. So I got some Cheetos.
I don't want that.
They're supposed to have 40 grams of THC.
See,
That
I'm a
shit got
lightweight.
40
When it
grams of
comes to weed, I'm a lightweight.
THC.
My 10 milligrams is where I like to be because that's a good. That's a
And
good,
it's too fucking much. It's a whole body high. You can't even defend yourself against a wolf if a wolf come down the street.
First of all, I don't. All right, so also I wanted to give a shout out to Grams Edibles in Queens. You guys can look them up on Instagram at Grams_edibles_New York. Right now, what this is a fruit punch infused edible that we're about to fuck with right about now. I even got you a pink one.
You should have. What's that? You fucking. I was thirsty. You playing around. Who these people?
Oh, y'all about to get lit.
Yeah.
Listen, I come here lit. Motherfucker, you ain't even cheers to the taste.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like, get.
Yo, I feel like
Black Power.
it does kind of remind me. It felt like, yo, it's like, yo, you drinking a quarter water, no, Arizona, and somebody dropped a weed stem in it.
Exactly. That's exactly what this tastes like. Somebody put their blunt out in it. I want more.
All right, so Mistress Maj, I wanted to get to know you a little bit. First, I wanted to ask.
Can I see your knees?
You want to see my knees?
Yes.
Both of them?
Yeah, I just wanted you to lift your legs up. That's all.
So, Mistress Maj, what?
I got on pennies right now.
I'm actually not lucky.
So, Maj, what services do you offer as Mistress Majesty?
Okay, yeah. So I offer humiliation, degradation, sissification. I'm a lover of some impact. I love some impact. I love domestic servitude. Domestic servitude is my jam. You want to come here and clean for me and cook for me and rub my body with oil and bathe me. I'm all for that. What else? CBT. I think I already said CBT, but CBT.
Now break that down. Wait. Hold.
Cock and ball torture?
Yes.
Let her tell
I
it.
love
She
that
was
cock
supposed
and
to
ball
do it.
torture. I like to take a nice little riding crop and smack some dick around and take some rope and tie it up real tight to the point where it looks like I want to fucking explode and then squeeze on their balls. Like I love that shit. I'll kick you in the balls, knee you in the balls.
You are having an emotional release as you're talking about these torturous shit that you do to the male genitalia. My God.
Because we was talking about sounding with
sounding?
Ace. We was talking about when she shoving a damn stick down somebody's dick hole.
Yes.
Why?
Yes. It is. I wish I could tell you why. It just feels good and it is fun. And a lot of time I'm like, I can't believe that somebody wants this from me. I'm so happy to be the person that is able to do this for you.
It is male shit. I had a cousin who tried to stick his dick in a socket. And we were like 9. He tried to stick his dick in the socket. You know, the face of the socket came off. He said, it's a big ass hole there, so let me stick my dick in it. I don't get it. I had enough. It's male shit. So I think a lot of the BDSM, the torturous shit that us dom like to do to men are kind of sort of a role reversal or just trying to see what it is like to walk on a little boy's side of. You know what was the most fucked up thing for me? I don't know where this came from, but as a child, I hated to watch boys pour salt on slugs. I hated that shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But now I just want to cut them open and pour salt on them, like. But
this thing, when I was in college, my sophomore year in college, me and my roommate discovered like ball busting porn. Don't know how we got there, but you end up on like Pornhub and you go down a rabbit hole and you want something that you ain't never seen before. We ended up on ball busting porn. And we thought that was the craziest thing in the world. We were showing all of our male friends and they were like, what the fuck is this? And then I remembered maybe a month ago, I texted her, I was like, bitch, and I sent her a video of me doing some CBT. She was like, this is the stuff we used to watch. I was like, who would have thought I would have been on the other side, 5 years later.
All right. So I wanted to ask you about this because we got to revisit this. So for our listeners who haven't heard, once again, can you walk our listeners through getting pink eye from a man's asshole?
Yeah, that's how you get pink eye. Fecal matter in your eye.
Before I even get started, I didn't get pink eye. I thought I was going to have.
Oh
pink
yes.
Eye, okay? So if that makes it,
he had a healthy asshole.
So a couple months ago, maybe like a month and a half ago, I was having a threesome. And I know that the guy, he likes to get his ass ate. And I like to eat ass. So, we were, I was leaving out the room to go get some water or something. If I was thirsty, we had been fucking for hours at this point. Then, I go out the room for a little break, get some water, freshen up. And I come back and he fucking her. And it just looked so good. Like she was on the bed with her legs up and he was on the floor, whatever. And I was like, I don't want to interrupt. How can I add to this situation? How can I enhance this? How can I take this up to the next level? So I went behind him and I got on my knees and I spread his ass cheeks and I started licking his ass. And as he's fucking her, I'm gonna go to the side for this. As he's fucking her, he would bring his ass back across my tongue, and so that he could get the whole tongue and get a little extra lick in there as he was fucking her. And he was intentionally dragging his asshole
across your tongue.
And and from all the saliva and the sweat and breathing into his ass, it gets all moist. And so there was a lot of fluids and stuff, and I'm sure some of it got in my eye because the next day I was pulling strings of crust,
girl,
ass crust out the eye.
Girl,
I'm gonna get pink eye from this shit. I didn't get pink eye. It didn't itch too bad. I just had a lot of extra
mucus, right?
You know what I'm saying? But it was worth it. It was worth it.
That was the organic pink eye vaccine that you just had.
You know what I'm saying?
When you talked about that story, that actually took me back because listen, I don't know if I talked about this. Did I talk about what happened when I was in the studio and we kicked the girl out my group?
You probably did, but I be fucked up.
So what happened is this. I used to do music with a group down in North Carolina, Eastern North Carolina. We had a studio session. Now, it was late and we were smacked. I was sitting on the couch, half in and out of sleep. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
I was in and out of sleep, right? So what happened is, when you're in and out of consciousness, you just start dozing off. Now, they were in the other room. I was in the living room. They was in the kitchen. I couldn't hear a goddamn thing. All I can hear was two things, incoherent whispering. And then I could also hear like this. And it would alternate between. I know. Yeah, it could be talking. Now, after the fact, I seen her leave. I seen her leave the studio, or leave the crib. And my homeboy Mongo talked to me about the story. So what I learned from that story is niggas did not have a condom. So he used the bag from a loaf of bread to fuck as a condom and shit.
No!
So I was thinking, can you get a yeast infection since it's from the bread?
Yeah. No, the paint on the outside of the fucking bag.
Yeast infection, BV, the coochie is very sensitive. Putting any plastic bag in there.
I got a cut from using a Ziploc. We turned it, did not have the cognizance of mind to turn the shit inside out, so the seams on the outside. That was some good ass dick. I was willing to take a fucking and I must have had some good ass pussy because you know how thick a fucking Ziploc is. He still that's that young shit. It was, but it cut me a little bit. I ain't give a fuck.
Can you tell us about?
I was just scared to pee after that.
Maj, can you tell us about your plans to live in multiple places across the country?
My plan said no. Go ahead.
I am in the process now and have been over the last year and a half of converting a school bus into a mobile home. It's called a schoolie. And so when that is done, which is a whole nother story, but when that is done soon, I will be able to travel and live in my bus full time. I'm getting rid of my apartment. I'm downsizing all my clothes and everything.
For
and
you.
50 square feet. And I'm just going to travel and live in different places, different RV parks, do something called boondocking, which is where you pretty much park in the middle of nowhere
and live off the
live
land.
There. I have a toilet, shower, stove, water tanks, all the things that I need, a bed, couch.
Now you doing a school bus. I know school buses are big, but my fat ass would have opted for something like a trailer, like a one of them fucking trucks with the big rig.
People do all types of things with these school buses. You can raise the roof on them if the roof is not high enough.
I watched Tiny House.
Okay, you on it, you know.
I feel like when you grow up poor or some shit like this, you already lived in a tiny house. I ain't trying to do that shit.
No, it's only tiny because all your fucking relatives be there. The house really be big if only the right people that's on the lease is there. It's the regular size. But at Big Mama house, when you got 17 generations of motherfuckers there and roaches, of course it seems small.
All right.
Roaches ain't paying no rent.
No, they not.
So,
but they will hang out on the side of your cup.
So, Maj, we are a swinger organization, a black swinger organization. We went to a party just last night. Nigga lost his iPhone and all of that shit.
Yes.
The Fun House, is that Love House in Brooklyn?
I don't know that one.
I'm gonna send it to you on Twitter. So I want to ask you something. You talked about your passion for group sex. We love group sex. This is what we're in the business of. Tell us about the worst group sex or group play session that you remember.
One of the worst group sex sessions that I can remember. Okay. We had a trip to the Poconos, me and 9 of my kinky friends. We went to the Poconos for a weekend, did the thing that you do when you went to kinky friends in a house.
Right.
It was great. All that stuff was great. And so at one point, there was an orgy happening. First of all, that was my first time that I did shrooms, and I was fucking lit as fuck. The best sex I've ever had.
Out of here.
The best.
I got 17 grams right now.
An orgy broke out. And so people started coming in the room and stuff like that. Orgy broke out. At this point, I'm all fucked out. I'm a little tired. So I'm here getting water. I'm wiping sweat. You know what I'm saying? I'm lending a hand or a mouth where it's needed. But I'm not really fucking at this point. I'm eating some ass and some pussy, just a little bit. And then after that, I don't know what happened, but something happened where one of the young ladies stormed out of the room. And we're all kind of like,
what the fuck happened?
What is going on? What did something happen? Whatever. We kind of still continued to play a little bit, and then we went to go check on her. And it was a very uncomfortable situation for us because she felt like she was supposed to be getting aftercare, in the middle of the orgy, but that wasn't negotiated. That wasn't talked about. She just assumed that after somebody had sex with her, that they were gonna, cuddle her, give her the aftercare that she required. And we didn't because we didn't know.
It was still going the fuck on.
We were still in the middle of having sex, and it wasn't like any BDSM play. It was just straight, we were just all just fucking, so it wasn't. Right. I don't know. None of us thought to check in for aftercare.
Rub her booty and no shit like that.
It wasn't one of those. I had just finished eating her ass. I would have rubbed her booty. I would have ate her ass. Whatever she needed, I was there for that. I was there to give hugs and lend hands, but that wasn't said, and so it was just a very nasty. She really nastily talked about us after that event, and I was like, this really ruined what was such a great time. That really ruined such a great time because I'm the mama. I'm always concerned about people. I'm always checking in on people. So to know that somebody played with me and in a space with me and didn't have a good time and left with a nasty taste in their mouth, that really broke my heart.
Bothers you, yeah.
And also it's I would also be concerned about my professional and personal reputation. Even though I know who I am, you still have to worry about everybody. Who else there is that may be interested in seeing if they can support you, but hey, I don't know, I heard this and shit like that.
Let me tell you about one of my motherfucking worst group sex experiences. Now, so I'm at a party, an event. We won't say what was event it was, but I'm at an event with one of my constants. I love fucking that man. Oh, goodness gracious. I'll be so glad when we start speaking again. Anyway, I'm at a event with him. Now. Don't you just hate that shit? It's all you always gotta act a fucking fool when you got devil dick or some shit. Anyway, he's getting head from a young lady, and another chick is riding his face. I'm sitting here watching. I haven't quite gotten my way in here yet, but I'm making my way. So the bathroom is to the right of them. The bed, it's a little narrow space between the bathroom wall, the bathroom door, and the bed. So he's laying on the edge of the bed, kind of sort of to give the girl who's riding his face leverage with her foot. So now I'm on my way to come around to the side. Somehow or other, the girl who's riding his face, her boyfriend's drunk ass got in front of me and tried to make his way to the fucking door and threw up on her back. And it was disgusting. And while he threw up, now mind you, I'm right behind him. Then he fucking farted. We left. Fucking leave after that. It was just terrible.
I think I remember hearing about this shit.
Fucking terrible. You fucking fart in a sex party, and then you want to know, nigga, what the fuck did you eat? You ate that and then you came here? You came here?
Sex. Like I prefer to have sex on an empty stomach. And I think one of the reasons is because I have a fear of like throwing up.
Right.
Sex, like,
if you get, especially if you like rough sex.
That's not my jam. So anybody who's into it, do your thing, your thing. But I'm into that, and so I don't eat before sex, like hours before.
No, right.
Can you tell us about your podcast? Describe your podcast and what's it about?
Yes,
Funsexual.
The Funsexual podcast is a podcast all about all things body positivity, sex positivity, and kink. I like to think of myself as kink 101. A lot of people come into this space and they become overwhelmed. There's so much information. There's so many different things. There's so many different people. So I like to give people kind of just a general overview of a lot of different things. I'm a mile long and an inch deep. So I cover a lot of different topics. Just from my perspective and my experience, it's very lighthearted for the most part. I try to have a good time, laugh about the things that are funny, but be serious when it's time to get serious.
Wow.
And I think it's really important to have spaces like that because in sexuality and in a lot of things, you're forced to put yourself into a box.
Absolutely.
You're forced, you have to be, you're gay, you're lesbian, you're bisexual, you are whatever. You have to put yourself in these boxes. You're homo, romantic, hetero, flexible. There's so many different terms. And it feels like once you put yourself into that box, you can't move anything beyond. Outside of that box. Yeah. If you are a man who is gay, and you have sex with a woman, now it's like, but you're gay. Why do you have to, you can step out of that box. You don't have to be in one box. So I think that the Funsexual is a place where you can step out of the box. You can try those different things that you want to try, and it doesn't change who you are or what you want to identify as. You can try, you can experiment, you can learn. And I think that that's really important.
All right. Speaking of boxes or labels, I want to go adjacent to that. How has being Black influenced your experience in the kink community, Maj?
So in my introduction came from the swinger community, and it was amongst white swingers. And I got really lucky to be at a party that there was one Black couple at this party. And I got lucky for them to kind of like pull me in and say, I know this is your first event. This is your first anything. Here is what you can expect. Here is what you can do. Here's what you can't do. Here's what other people can do to you. Here's what they can't. And they really lined that out for me. Without them having been in that space, I don't think anybody would have really pulled me aside and given me that breakdown. Needed, right. And those principles have guided me through this space over the last 4 or 5 years. And that was a really important moment for me. I didn't understand what it was to be fetishized. I thought that I was walking into this house. These were house parties. I thought I was walking into this house and people wanted me because I was like young and cute and I got a little body on me and stuff. I'm thinking people are wanting me for that. It wasn't until I got into Black kink spaces that I really understood what fetishization looked like and felt like. And I said, okay, these people it wasn't just because I was young and I was cute. There was a lot of cute people at these parties, but it was they wanted that black girl, that I was that black girl in the room. And it was, once I took a step back to realize that and learned about that, then I was like, okay, this is not a space that I want to be in. And so now I specifically seek out Black kink spaces. Now, on the other side of that, being a professional dominatrix, it has been a benefit to me. Because you want to fetishize me? That's fine. And you're gonna pay a premium for it. It's not cheap. I let people know from the beginning. I'm not cheap. And if you want it, you're gonna have to pay for it. And so to me, for me in that space, it has definitely been a benefit. Overall, though, I wouldn't say that it's been a bad experience at all being Black in a kink space. It was just a learning curve.
Right. I think a lot of times than not, we need to just go on the journey as opposed to attaching negative or positive to it. If it's a learning experience, then it has to be fucking positive. It doesn't really, really matter the emotion you walk away with. What the fuck did you learn? How can you apply that to, in future circumstances to make your experience better? You know what I mean? So I think that's really important. The conversation that was had, I think that's something that I want everybody to experience, because I had jumped in knowing nothing, knowing only what I had seen on FetLife. So learning about consent for the first time, that was the first time anybody talked to me about consent. No one can touch you in the face unless they ask you first. No one can, do any, if something happens, then you can tell them no, and you can go to somebody and let them know, and they'll get put out because that's not allowed. No one would have had that conversation with me at my first party if it wasn't for that couple. And I would have just been like thrown to the wolves. So what we do at our parties, and I've noticed it done at quite a few other parties, and strangely enough, they were all us, but we do like a series of rules before, for the newbies. And especially with our events, if I'm aware that we have new people in there, I get their ass and pull them to the side, and we run over. You get footnotes first. Yeah, don't just come here and think just because you're here that you people have to sleep with you. Everybody has a right to do what they want to do, and you only get done if somebody wants to do you. You know what I mean? Well,
the consent conversation.
Absolutely.
Consent is something that needs to be about sex education. I don't think it should be limited to the lifestyle and such. And then it shouldn't be exclusive to the new people and such, because I'll tell you this, though. What I hate about the lifestyle of veterans, I'll be in here for 10 years. I'll never claim that. I hate the entitlement. I hate the narcissism. I hate that every time I go somewhere, I have somebody that wants to teach me something that I didn't even ask, and you're a failure. So it's like I'm watching you fail at how long I've been in here. I'm further ahead than you, but I need to listen to you because it makes you feel better because you've been fucking somebody else's wife for 20 years and somehow I owe you something. Go fuck yourself with a lowercase f out the window with that bullshit. All right? So
I think moving forward, veterans and everything and everybody has entitlement. Like just I don't know if it's
Maj,
I think it's just everything, though.
Does the race of your clients influence?
One second. I want to just comment on what you just said. There's that person at every party that tries to do that.
Yeah.
And I like to listen to what they have to say, because sometimes bits and pieces, I can throw it into my situation.
Right.
What is that? Okay,
we got you. We're good right now.
Okay.
We good right now. Listen, one thing
I can take big pieces of their spiel and throw it into my little mix and into my conversation. And I like to just listen to what people say, because then sometimes I also can fact check and be like, actually,
absolutely,
no, that's not how.
And also what you can think of is this, man. People, if you want somebody to listen to you, don't go forcing your ideas and your advice on people who didn't ask you that shit. Be the type of person that will make people want to come to you. So you don't have to go around toting your veteran status to fucking everybody, man. Because we don't give a shit how many years you've been fucking somebody else's wife. You know what I'm saying? Look at how long I've been doing this and the shit that I have somebody who's been in here for so long asking me to hook them up with somebody. You know what I'm saying? And shit like this. Now, if these people would think about information, then they probably would be coming to learn some shit from us. So also, I wanted to ask you this. Does the race of your clients influence your boundaries or your rates for your service?
Yes. Yeah, it does. I typically don't dom Black people in general. It's just not something that I feel comfortable with. And if I do, it's more of a play thing than it is a professional thing. I would do it, but I would have to draw some boundaries at certain types of maybe degradation and humiliation to some degree. And I know how fucked up it sounds because I've said
it's
it in
not
my head.
fucked up.
I have too much respect for Black men to do some of the stuff that I do to white men.
Why is that fucked up? Why is that fucked up? Because you hold a particular affection for our men that you won't allow yourself to mistreat them like that, girl. That ain't fucked up. That's awesome.
But my brothers, I see.
Right. And you know what? These doms are a necessity because you're a necessity. You're a necessity. I mean, people in power need to be brought back down to a
still do it.
Down a peg.
I still do it, and it's not an unknown.
You said what? You sitting there with your mouth open.
Maj, you still with us?
That's beautiful.
Now, the last thing she did, the last time we had her in, she was talking about the discrepancy when it comes to how she treats the different races of clients. What I would add to that is this. I think it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like when we're saying, like I said before, you know what I mean? My race and the Black experience, it follows me everywhere I go, and it follows me in a lifestyle and such. That means that certain issues that comes with being a marginalized individual follow me here. Like I was saying previously about Queen of Spades and things. Those things don't happen in a vacuum, all right? And it's not a two-way street. So when we think about these people wanting to occupy a space where they want to be submissive or they want to be degraded, they don't have to measure that against so much in society that has such a narrow, restricted idea of who they are as people and they're human beings. They're given agency automatically so they don't have to fight for it. So they have the ability to come and choose to surrender the agency. Now, me, I'm in handcuffs plenty of times. I never fantasized about being in them sexually. I've been in them, like, for real. Like, I got like 20 arrests in just New York City alone. And I don't...
But I think when you're dealing with the torture and degradation with respect to dom, the people who want those kinds of things are seeking balance. I think subconsciously they know that they have done maybe a multitude of wrong, and now they're seeking retribution and shrouding it under some kind of sexual fetish. It's everybody has human nature. We all have Christ consciousness at different levels. You know what I mean? So your conscience is going to speak to you. And I think that's what it is. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and he was saying, really upset about all of the panhandlers that are in the subways or whatever. And I had to explain to him, those people have a purpose. He said, what the fuck is their purpose? They don't do shit. They just go around asking people for money. I said, well, yeah, they serve a purpose because those same people who are willing to give them money have probably did something really, really fucked up today. And now they have seek retribution by giving this person some money. So now they can feel better about themselves. It's the same thing.
The best thing to do something about that, if you actually have a problem with the abundance of panhandlers, then you need to take that. Then you need to, what I was saying is then what needs to be done or what needs to be addressed is what puts so many people in situations where they're like that so much. Why is there so much homelessness there?
That
you know
wasn't
what I mean?
His concern. His concern was that, they didn't have a purpose and they're just useless. And I was just explaining to well, you get it. I was just explaining to them their purpose. They do serve a purpose. You might think because they don't do anything for you that they don't have anything to do. But for the person who was fucked up, same like the submissive, the same like him. I had 4.
I don't understand the point.
Wait a
Purpose
minute,
and being destitute and being homeless. I don't get the connection. What do they got to do with each other?
I had 4 Jewish clients for beating, for flogging. They were all slumlords, and they all wanted a black woman to whoop their ass. And guess what? All of their properties was in the hood. So to do people dirty is just so easy, and it comes second nature for them because of the things that have been put in place for them. So I think with that ease comes a little bit of guilt, and this is how they resolve that guilt, by being punished by the people who they're doing things to.
I still don't get the connection between people who are homeless and purpose.
It wasn't about people that were homeless. It was about people having a purpose. The homeless people serve the purpose of the person who does people wrong so that they can feel better about themselves by giving to them. It had nothing to do with homelessness in and of itself. It was just about their purpose.
Listen, we need to see people as human beings, not things to be done, okay? No one's purpose is about anybody benefiting anybody. You know what I mean? People
But that's
live...
I don't know what you just said just now.
Exactly.
All right,
That's
let me explain
all
it.
it
Let
is.
me explain it if you don't get it. All right, so don't worry about what nobody else's purpose is. Worry about your own purpose because people are human beings. They're not vehicles of labor. So don't worry about no one's purpose. We need to get that out of our mind right away.
But everybody judges though.
Let me
But
Maj.
every relationship is transactional.
Exactly.
Every relationship is
Exactly. So when
And it's
you
not
come
looking
in
at that
contact
person
with somebody, you
as
get a
being-
right to make a judgment call.
No, not all
It's
of my
looking at that
relationships are
person as-
transactional.
all relationships. Are
Not all of
transactional.
my relationships are transactional. Some things I just do just because.
You get something back
In a
from it
relationship.
though, no matter
Just because-
what.
Just because
Whether
it
it's
makes you feel
gratification or not. You
Do you
get
accept
something
the
back.
fact that I'm saying no? I don't.
I don't.
Okay. I'm saying
We're gonna agree to disagree. I don't.
no, but it's not. Well, you're taking away my experience. You did it a lot.
I didn't.
Yeah, you are.
I'm
You
just
literally are
telling
doing
I
it.
don't
I'm telling
get
you
it.
that. Right? No, you can say I respect that. You just
I
said you
can if
didn't.
I did, but I'm telling you, I don't get it.
All right, I'm motivated by not everything I'm motivated to do in an interaction is not a transaction. Do you understand it?
I hear you, but I don't believe that.
Okay,
Even
so
if it's
because you
from-
don't believe it,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I don't believe it, and I can't stand on that. I'm not arguing with you about your truth. I'm telling you, I don't see it to be a truth, and you can have that.
the
That's
next
fine.
episode, I'm gonna explain this to you a little bit further. The next episode,
You could do
Let me
it on
ask
the
you
next
this.
phone call.
No, I'm gonna do it the next
Shit,
episode.
you could do it on the next text.
I'll do it on the next episode.
Cool.
But like I said,
we can agree to disagree.
And that's all I'm saying. You
as long as it doesn't
I'll
affect
see
my
how you see
agency.
it.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, Black Lives Matter. Well, we can agree to disagree. What the fuck you talking about?
We can.
All right, I need the right to do such and such and such and such because I don't have the right to do such and such and such and such. I need the right to vote. Well, I disagree. What the fuck you talking about?
That's their
Like-
right to disagree. It doesn't make it. It doesn't
learning-
make it factual. It's just their right. See what happens is when
I'm
people
learning
give people
to say people-
freedom of speech,
Uh-huh.
they want to stifle other people's freedom of speech. It's like, let me do me. Stop saying shit about what I'm doing. Well, if you want to do you, then you have to let them do what you have to let them say what they're saying because you want the right to do what you do. Their opinion is their own. You don't have to adopt it for yourself, but they can have their opinion.
Yeah, I think people can, and then you can have an opinion about yours too. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you can have an opinion, and then I could also have an opinion about your opinion. Yo, so Maj, I wanted to ask you about pick three other famous people, because we're putting you up there with famous, that you would like to have a foursome with, Maj.
Ooh, a foursome.
So
Oh,
it's
gosh.
all of them at the same time.
Okay, all right. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. I want Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert. And I want Mr. Yahya Abdul Mateen. That man is fine as hell.
Yahya.
All of them. From Aquaman, he was from the Chicago 7. He did he's gonna be a Candy Man.
Yeah.
Those are wait, you said 4. Oh shit, that's 3. I need one more. One more.
Girl or guy?
She's,
I'm asking you, girl or guy, so she can make a better decision.
I'm gonna let her think on it.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Girl.
And my last person would be. You said girl.
Girl.
My last person would be. I really got to think for Angelina Jolie.
Really?
I think she's so cute.
She said
I
she
think
wanted
she's
to
so-
have
as
sex
she's-
with
as
everybody in
she's
the world.
aging, I think she's so cute. So
Angelina
those
Jolie said she wanted to have sex with everybody in the world.
Just something like that. Something about some shit about experiencing everyone's energy or some shit like that.
I got good energy, sis. Okay.
Oh, wow. I'd like to know. Where you at?
I'm in Jersey.
Much.
Ooh, I'm about to be there.
What don't you get asked that you would like to share?
What don't I get asked that I would like to share? I guess I never really get to talk about how much I love the swinger and kink community in general.
Mhm.
Like I speak so highly about the people in this space because they're some of the best. I really do feel like these are some of the best people in this space because it's so open and it's based around so much like honesty and having the conversations that sometimes might be uncomfortable. And that is so important, and not just in sex, not just in kink, in life in general. You are not going to grow. You are not going to learn if you are scared to speak up. And the people here, that piece is gone, and it allows for more open and honest conversations. And I love the people of this community. so much.
But hold on. How about speaking up against what though? What if they just disagree?
You can disagree with somebody, but you can still be, conscious enough and mindful enough to be respectful of that person and their opinions, and still disagree. We can not see eye to eye and still be okay with each other.
All
That's
right.
fine.
When it comes to like a moral consensus, how we have a culture and how we have laws, you know what I'm saying? Like there's an objective reality. You know what I mean? Like, I don't pull out $100 bill and say, hey, well, to me, actually, it's okay, well, try that. You know what I'm saying? Because in reality, what happens is people will start gaslighting you, and then it'll be a whole bunch of shit. Then I can just make some shit up and just be like, you know what? In my opinion, the white people were the people that were enslaved, and we don't have to agree. Like, okay, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, how far are we going to go with spitballing here? We're going to have to start from we have to start from objectional reality, and we have to start from some type of knowledge. You know what I mean? 1 + 1 has to equal 1. For us to be able to start talking.
1 + 1 = 2, though.
I don't know how we got there.
I don't either. So you're as confused as me, dear.
All right.
Bang my temple up against yours.
There's a level that we all kind of start on here in space. Then we can do what we need to do within the bounds of consent and all those things. But it's a space where you can do the things that you want to do, but you have to be able to vocalize that. And then if somebody doesn't want to do it, that's fine. Somebody else that does.
Exactly. And what I think people forget is that learning is not linear. Yeah, we do all start at a space, and some people grow this way, some people grow that way. So it doesn't mean that the person that got this is going to get that. So it's not a general consensus. It's not a general something. Everybody gets what they're supposed to get when they're supposed to get it.
And just because the offer for sex in this space is there and you turn it down doesn't mean you have to be a dickhead about it. Or be an asshole, be a bitch about it. It happens. I don't want to have sex with you, and that's okay. And because this is a space that cultivates that, I think that that's really important.
Yes, I was talking to somebody named Nookie from Dating Kinky about that. She's actually going to be on our show in the future. So before we go, let us know what you got coming up and where we can find you, Maj.
Well, you guys can find me at the Funsexual on Instagram. What do I have coming up? Right now, I don't have a whole lot going on, and I am so happy to have that. The next biggest thing that's going to be happening, I'll be talking about it on the podcast, is going to be moving my bus. I'm really excited. I'm taking the podcast on the road, and hopefully
I'm going to come and spend a night on your bus.
You tell me which airport you want to fly to. We're going to get you from
Newark.
The fuck?
Newark.
Okay.
Newark International.
I'll take you back to the airport. We'll have a good old grand old time on the bus. You know
Child, you don't even know.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
You guys have events coming up. I've heard you guys' events. I had a friend that went to, I think, your birthday party.
Yeah. That shit was litty lit. You need to come to the next one, honey. It's going to be litty lit. You know, this guy. It was lit, honey.
I mean, for
as
the most
everybody
part
knows,
I'm happy that everybody came out. Well, almost everybody came out and, you know what I mean, supported and such. You know what I'm saying? But we're looking forward to having a good time next time. You know, we're doing things bigger. I had something else that I wanted to add, but you should definitely come out and check us. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're more than welcome to. All right, y'all. Well, thank you, Mistress Maj, for joining us. And you guys, make sure that y'all listen to the Funsexual podcast. I want to get on that episode.
Come on. Yeah. I would love to have you.
All right.
Both of y'all.
I know. I want an Eskimo kiss.
What's that?
Yep, your nose.
I can see your screen. Thanks again for coming and joining us.
Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome, dear.
My name is Omari the Rebel, y'all.
And I am the motherfucking big pink motherfucking Pegasus with the motherfucking.
This is Tribechat. You guys make sure that you continue to support us and come out June 26th for Summer Playcation. Summer Playcation. It's at the end of the month. We're going to have a few vendors there. We might even turn the hot tub on. This is in Hillside, New Jersey. Yep. We already have it available on our Eventbrite, so just click the link tree in any one of our profiles and you'll be able to get information as well as tickets. All right, y'all. And we'll be back here next week.
That's right. Come get your booty played with.